Guys, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. Like, I have a hard time keeping up with everything that's going on in the blockchain space right now. I mean, new projects are launching every single week, and sometimes I personally lose count. Okay. So it's a good problem to have because it means one thing. It means that the blockchain space is starting to explode, which is a great thing for you because that means blockchain developer demand is going to go up like crazy. So if you want to jump on this train, like as it's leaving the station, what's the fastest way to do it? Because I get that question a lot. Like, what's the fastest way, the most efficient way to learn blockchain? Because if you only have like so much time on your hands, how can you be using that time the most productively? Okay. So the really quick answer to that question is basically to find something that you want to build with blockchain and then acquire the skills to build it. So whether you have, a coding background already or you don't, you want to have some sort of end in mind and then work towards that goal. Okay. So I've talked about this a lot on my channel already, but I brought on a special guest today. His name's Sven. And so he did exactly that. He didn't know anything about blockchain, but he came to Dapp University with a very specific purpose in mind and built his own project. Okay. And this really is how he learned blockchain. And I think it's the fastest and most effective way for you to do the exact same thing. So I've brought him on the channel today and I'm going to let him kind of share his experience so that you can, get some ideas and do some of these things for yourself. So really quickly, if you're new around here, I'm Gregory. And on this channel, I turn you into a blockchain master. So if that's something that you're interested in, then smash the like button down below for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe to this channel. And if you want to learn how to master blockchain step by step from start to finish, then head on over to dappuniversity.com/bootcamp to get started today. So I'm super excited to have Sven on my channel today here because, Sven's somebody who's been watching, pretty much ever since the beginning. He reached out to me because he had built his own real world project that we're going to get a tour of today. It's a lot like Uniswap, a decentralized cryptocurrency exchange powered by Ethereum. But it's got some really cool features that I'm excited to show you. I took a test drive of this myself, and it's really impressive. So, Sven has a little bit of coding background before he got into blockchain, but like a lot of you watching this, didn't really know anything about blockchain before he got started. He had this idea in his head that he wanted to build, and with some hard work and persistence, he was able to bring this thing to life. So, welcome, Sven.
Thanks a lot, Gregory, and it's a pleasure for me being here on your channel, actually.
Yeah, super excited to have you here today. So tell me, just what's your elevator pitch? What is this project and what does it do?
Actually, I'm from Germany and living here in Colombia. And the big background for this project and the motivation was to bring two worlds together: the blockchain world, actually, together with the farmer and families and the consumers. That are consuming healthy products, for example, and would like to have a healthy nutrition and so on. And in 2017, when I came to crypto, I actually had no clue about blockchain programming, and the only main source for programming that I found for the blockchain was actually your channel. And I definitely only used these three, let's say, code your own cryptocurrency and the real world ICO on Ethereum and also the Web3 JS series in order to get this complete project running. I was, let's say, for weeks, I was trying to find some solutions and so on, but my passion was high enough in order to find always some solution when I was stuck actually at the programming. And so what is this project actually about is, let's say, it's doing something very easy, more or less. Only I created some liquidity pools. These liquidity pools represent real projects with real net profit and with real products. And what they are doing is there's just similar to Uniswap, but there are some differences. And the difference is, for example, one difference is that I use only Ethereum on one side and an ERC20 token on the other side. While Uniswap, for example, uses two ERC20 tokens trading in the liquidity pools. And in this liquidity pool, normally no investor afterwards provides liquidity pool to the liquidity pool afterwards. So just at the beginning, in this case, the liquidity is provided at the beginning, and that's it. And
Yeah, that's very cool, Sven. So, tell you what, you want to give us a quick tour? We can kind of see some of this stuff that you're talking about, like while we demo the app.
Right. Okay. Cool. So actually, I'm using also your the truffle suite and so on, similar as in your videos, and also I wrote 2,000 lines of test code in order to test all this functionality, as similar in your video, but a little bit
That's
bigger.
awesome.
And let's say I'm using also Bootstrap, but meanwhile I switched to MD Bootstrap.
Right.
And let's connect here to the to MetaMask, and we are currently on the Rinkeby test network here. So also these security images show that, for example, this security image here is let's say representing where the smart contract of the DeFi platform is located, and that controls all liquidity pools attached to the smart contract. Actually, it manages all the liquidity pools. Currently, we have only 2 liquidity pools here attached as a modular basis, but it's actually indefinitely because inside it's as a list, for example, managing these liquidity pools. All this information is coming from the blockchain. These names actually come from the blockchain. Also, how much ether is inside the liquidity pool, how many tokens are in the liquidity pool. Also, the user account is coming from the blockchain. Here's the account number, and this image is representing here the user address. And we see that we have got 180 million token. So this user account and so much ether. And the liquidity pool has so many, let's say so many tokens. And the price of the token is currently, let's say 0.065 ETH. And normally you would think of, let's say the liquidity pool don't act as a normal exchange with order books, but you don't have any, similar to Uniswap, you don't have any order book list inside the liquidity pools. You just have an amount of ether and just an amount of token. And so the normal thing is that you divide the ether by the tokens, and then you have the token price. And but if you would spend, let's say 0.8996 ether, so you would clear out the complete token pool, and the liquidity pool would be out of tokens. And this would be similar actually if you have an exchange and you don't have almost any order book entries. You only have, let's say, 2 order book entries, but the complete exchange would be on these 2 order books only. And you would, let's say, buy 1 order book, and the complete Binance exchange, for example, would be empty. And that's not the case. So that's not a real scenario. So that is why Uniswap, for example, asks an external oracle for the real fair value price of the token that depends on the amount of ether you send to the liquidity pool. So on the amount of tokens you would like to buy or sell. And but I came up with another solution. Actually, I'm doing this mathematical solution consists of a recursive smart contract based mathematical function inside the smart contracts. So where you iteratively execute the same function again and again. So I stopped it at 15 or 20 iterations, for example, or when the price is close enough and it doesn't change anymore. For example, if the token price here gets to 65, to 65, and it doesn't change anymore with the next iteration, so it just stops also. Let's do an example here with, let's say, I would like to buy, let's say, with 0.1 ETH, I would like to buy tokens. The estimation would be, let's say, 1,259 tokens, let's say. But if I would like to buy with 0.2 ETH tokens I can estimate, and the estimation is already realized by the smart token that is doing the recursive function. That is actually similar to Excel work, Microsoft Excel, that is doing, it's called circular reference. If you have got a circular reference internally in Excel, that is doing actually the smart contract internally. So you would buy then 2 million tokens. And if I would like go higher, then you would only receive, let's say, 3 million and something. Let's buy some tokens. And I need to confirm with MetaMask, because internally the tokens are transferred. This is an ERC20 token. And the Rinkeby network more or less takes, let's say, between 20 or 30 seconds in order to update the blockchain.
Nice. There we go.
Okay. Yeah. Here we see also the blockchain costs, actually. That are also shown to the user, and the tokens we received. And here you see that the tokens increased and the ETH is there. Yeah, right. And so that's actually we can also change here the liquidity pool, and you see that now it's coming new information from the blockchain. All right, we used that before, so this and so we switch, and all this information comes directly from the blockchain. So everybody could actually program the same front end website and interact with the smart contracts as I do, or make it even nicer, actually.
Yeah, very cool. Well, that's awesome, Sven. This is really impressive. This goes above and beyond like a lot of the tutorials that I've put out on my channel, and I think that's I think you've done exactly what I've kind of designed this whole thing to do. At least try to serve people like you who a lot of people come to this channel for different reasons. Some people have no programming experience. Some people do have a little bit of programming experience, a lot of programming experience. This is a huge range, right? But a lot of people have an idea of something they want to build. Whether their long-term goal is to start a business or to get a job or whatever. A lot of people come and say, "Ooh, I have this idea that I want to build a blockchain," and you've done that, right? And you've even filled in the gaps for stuff that I don't show you on the channel, right? Like it's much more advanced, sophisticated stuff with the automated market maker technology, like how Uniswap works, all that kind of stuff, and not using any oracles, and filled in those gaps and built something for real yourself, which is that's awesome. That's the goal, and you've done that.
And I definitely had a lot of hiccups, of course, all kind of problems, and you can imagine. And also I had to learn, let's say, 20 different tools from your videos, and I thought, oh my God, will I learn all of this stuff? But if you have got a passion behind it, actually, you need to identify your motivation in life and your passion, and then you can make everything that you want to do.
Yeah, I think that's spot on. I'm a big believer in purpose-driven learning. So, I always tell people, people ask me all the time, like, should I learn blockchain as my first, language, or like, should I go learn all these other things first and then learn blockchain? Should I do all these programming tutorials before I try to do anything with blockchain? I almost always say, pick something that you really want to do and learn all the stuff that you need to accomplish that goal. Because if you have a goal in mind, then you're going to learn so much faster, because you say, I need to learn this thing in order to do that. So if you're just vaguely kind of sitting around and saying, I want to learn coding, but I don't know what I want to build, then you don't always see how everything fits into the context of your purpose. And it's really easy to lose motivation. And of course, you can have hiccups along the way, like you're talking about, and face some real dragons along that journey as well. But if I don't know, I would seems like you're really motivated to solve the unsolved problems when you have a really specific purpose in mind. Would you say that's correct?
Right. Yeah, that's absolutely correct. And I almost would have thrown several times the computer out of the window, actually, if I wouldn't have had this this purpose, actually, that consists of this, let's say, to offer the health from nature to humanity. That is my
Yeah.
purpose, and that is based on the inner, let's say, on the inner growth. That is the personality development, and the social contribution, that is the giving back to society, and that is what it takes. That is how let's say this DeFi platform combines with a passion. Let's say farmers and families will get into the blockchain space and benefit not only financially from it, but also socially, and yeah, health benefits also for the farmers and families. And the end consumers, they not only consume healthy products, but they get also financial benefits while consuming the healthy products. So they have health benefits, and they know also where let's say they have got a proof of origin, because the farmers can also, let's say, prove the origin of the raw materials, etc. And so the end consumers internationally, let's say in Japan or wherever you like to have these end consumers, they have got more connection to the farmer families, actually, where the whole food is coming from, and where the health is coming from, and that makes it so so valuable, or so, let's say, interesting to combine this with the blockchain.
Yeah. Yeah, very cool. And that's one thing I really like about your project is you have a much bigger vision, and you start from that vision and then say, what does that look like into an app? And then you say, okay, well, that's what the app looks like. Well, then how do you actually get down to writing the code? And so you kind of come that full journey. So that's really awesome. Well, Sven, it's been a pleasure, chatting with you today, having you on the channel. I'm super excited to do this. I'm really glad we could do this. I'm going to put a link down in the description below to Sven's project so you guys can check this out, give it a test drive yourself. So yeah, man, thanks again, everybody. If you want to follow along in Sven's footsteps and do the, same kind of thing, build your own real world app. How can you get started today? Well, you can go to my YouTube homepage. You can find any of my free courses listed there, like Udemy courses, but they're totally free. And if you like those courses and you want to take the next step, or you want to take a big shortcut, I can show you how to build a real world blockchain application, a DeFi app, a lot like Sven's here, over at dappuniversity.com/bootcamp. All right. So thanks again, Sven.
Thanks a lot, Gregory, for all of your
work.
work.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thanks a lot, Sven. And until next time, thanks for watching Dapp University.